on to the Team USA minicamp. I think we all felt very fed this past weekend with all the clips and the content and the sound bites that came out of Team USA's minicamp at Duke. It was Kara Lawson's first sort of a connection point with players. It was like sort of ramping up this Team USA youth movement that seems to be in place now as well, where the 2028 team, I feel like, might look very different from the 2024 team. The headline, of course, being Caitlin Clark back in action. She's saying she's 100%. She looks like she's 100%. It seems like her game is sort of metabolized the strength that she put on, where it feels like now she's a lot more comfortable. And she obviously, she really beefed up last offseason, then ended up getting hurt. And now it seems like she's found some level of like equilibrium. Threes look good, drives look balanced. All of that stuff was like really good to see. Pick and pop with Aaliyah Boston. I particularly really enjoyed her and Paige Bueckers going at it. Like that just gave me chills in a way. Like kind of reminded me of like those like old like Larry Magic commercials. Like you could like, I think they're both Nike athletes. Like you could mine that for an entire decade, honestly, if you were them, and they should. But yeah, just kind of a fun palate cleanser, honestly.
And I think it was that for the players too, right? It was certainly a fun palate cleanser for, as you're talking about, people to cover, think about. It doesn't involve proposals and salary systems and collective bargaining. It just involves basketball, which is, again, the sport that we are nominally covering here. Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, Seerat, it was a really young group at Team USA camp in Durham. A number of veteran or more veteran participants, Asia Wilson, Brianna Stewart, and Afisa Collier, all did not participate in the camp. We should say that don't read into who was there or not there necessarily. Plenty of players were invited, declined their invitations for whatever reason. Think about Unrivaled is actually starting up their training camp this week, right? So a lot of players went from Team USA camp straight to Unrivaled. So if you're a player, maybe you decline the camp because whatever reason, and you are going to Unrivaled, like you didn't want to have those two big things within a 5-day period. You needed more time to pack. Who among us is not a last minute packer and doesn't need a little bit more time? But there were various reasons why different players didn't show. But as a result, it was a really, really young group, right? You had a number of first timers participating with the U.S. senior national team. You had Paige Bueckers, you had Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Cam Brink, Rakia Jackson, Lauren Betts was there from UCLA, Sonia Citron, Kiki Iriafen, Juju Watkins was an observer on Friday, taking part, just kind of watching as she recovers from her ACL tear. So a really, really young group. Paige Bueckers described the group as young and turnt, the nickname, the moniker that kind of took off. That's not to say that the LA Olympics team in 2028 will be exactly that. But we are seeing this sea change, right? Like, I mean,
hey, you can be old and turnt too. If you can't, like, don't tell me about that.
Yeah, speaking from experience there, Seerat, or?
Hey, look, I'm 31 years old and I've never felt younger. So, like, I feel like I'm aging in reverse.
There you go. Well, maybe you'll be at the next. You'll be at the next USA camp, suiting up then, joining Paige and
hey,
everybody
look,
else.
I'm ready. Like, yeah. Kara Lawson hit me up. Like, I'll get back out there. I shoot some threes or something like that.
I guess but you carry Canadian citizenship, I assume.
Oh, that's a good point. A good point. But you know what? Like, I've been in America for a couple years now. Maybe I could do the dual thing, or maybe I could just try out for Canada's team. I'd love to play alongside Silas Swords. She's one of my favorite players.
Well, I don't think Team USA was preparing to guard you, but it does seem like they were trying to lay their foundation.
That might wrinkle into, how pissed is Kara going to be? The fact that they went through all of this stuff right now, but they actually, they didn't even get to prepare for this, X factor that's being thrown their way.
I'll have to make sure to ask that the next time we speak to her. But I think Kara Lawson was more concerned about just getting to know. There's just very
little tape on me too. Like it's really hard to know. Yeah, it's tough.
That's true. She was more concerned, I think, with getting to know some of the young players, the Lauren Betts, the Juju Watkins, who really she was spending time with. She said for the first time. And, someone like Juju Watkins, she didn't participate as she rehabs his ACL tear, as I said, but she was there to learn, to observe, to witness the speed of the camp. Like I remember a couple years back, there was a USA camp, in Brooklyn. I'm based in New York, and there was a camp in Brooklyn. And it was a February camp, right? And so I had gotten used to, at that point on the schedule, you're watching college games, you're going to college practices, you're in the college basketball mindset, right? It's been a couple months since seeing live WNBA action. Walking back into an Olympic camp, seeing the speed of the game, it was like stark, right? The contrast was immense. It was major. Like I still remember, when you put the 15 to 20 best of the, however many players in the world in one gym, they're figuring it out together. There's a lot of mistakes that are made, but like the crispness of every drill, of every pass, of every scrimmage, you feel that energy. And Juju Watkins certainly, she talked about it, like even being an observer, feeling just the speed of it, like making a mental note. She's like, that's going to help me going forward too. So,
well, that experience also helped you with your transition into the pros, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm still waiting on my opportunity, but maybe that 10-day will come sooner than later.
I have hope. Yeah, it seemed like there was this sort of like collective sense of just understanding of like recognition. Like we are all the top 10 to 15 most competitive people in the world, and we actually get to be in a room together. I think multiple players kind of like acknowledge like the feeling of being in the energy of that and the way that inspired and motivated them as well. And I'm sure they watch each other and they learn from each other and all that stuff. I'm sure they're like studying each other's pregame routines and how they practice and like all of that sort of stuff. And I think Kara Lawson kind of said I think she mentioned talking to Caitlin Clark about, hey, this is like the most fun that you're ever going to have because you're actually in a room with people as motivated and dedicated as you are. Like there's, and players have always said that about the Olympics, right? Like it allows them to like level up a little bit, and it shows them also what it could be as well. Like if you maybe haven't had great coaching experiences in the past, and like you get to kind of, get to go through like, like how does Natalie Nakase, who is one of the assistants, run a drill or run a practice or put me through warm-ups, or, how does Stephanie White do things like that as well? Like Team USA, like Unrivaled last year, has historically kind of been a hotbed for player movement as well. Now, this particular Team USA, a little bit different because even though everybody is going to be a free agent last year, players on rookie contracts are still going to be on their rookie deals. So unfortunately, I don't think that we get to map out future teams just yet. But I think, watch out for 2028. 2028 could definitely be that. But there was one thing. I feel like Angel and Paige are this platonic romance thing is just getting better and better. I feel like, if you're a Dallas Wings fan, you can start to, you can just like add more fodder to your fantasies with Team USA.
Yeah, I mean, they were hanging out at the Knicks game a couple of days before Team USA camp, and I heard that Paige Bueckers was one of the standouts. It seemed like from the Team USA camp over the past last week's camp. I heard she was really, really impressive, and I think a lot of the clips showed that, and from people who were there who I talked to about it. They said that she stood out even among some of her peers.
Oh, interesting. Okay. How do you think it'll shake out with her and Caitlin at with that 1 or 2 spot?
No, it's gonna be really. I mean, do you put Juju in there or too early? You give some respect to the players in the league.
3 as well.
It's gonna be
size.
It's gonna be fascinating. I mean, there are I have to imagine one of them is gonna come off the bench. I mean, maybe you play them both together, but it's just gonna be like there's so much talent, right? There's just so much talent on that team. What do you do with a player like Jackie Young, who seems like the perfect glue player to start in any lineup, right? Shoot it, defend, physical, like strong as hell. She's going to be really hitting the prime of her career then. You have all these forwards, right? Asia, Stewie, and Fee. It's the same question that people encountered in the Olympics. What is the rotation among the 3 of them? The first tournament, we should say, is the World Cup. That's really the biggest tournament on the upcoming schedule, and that's set to happen next September. Now, of course, the ramifications for everything that happens in between now and the LA Olympics for the US a little less because they're hosting the games in LA, so they're qualifying. So not that there was any doubt, but
qualifying,
there is no doubt. But it will be really interesting to see next September who elects to play for Team USA at the end of in this tournament, because it's going to come very likely at the end of the WNBA season, right before the playoffs. So are people taking time away? Are they missing out? Are they risking potential injury during the stretch run to play for their country? Are some players trying to take part in the event because they think it gives them a leg up for Olympic qualifying? Who knows? What does it mean for, again, fatigue for the playoffs? There's just a lot of questions. So that team assembly is going to be really, really interesting. Not only is it Kara Lawson's, or was this Kara Lawson's first camp and first time running the senior national team, but also Sue Bird. She assumed the role as the national team director, I believe, or managing director. So she's making the roster decisions. So we'll see what she ends up deciding too, among, again, what players to keep and what happens next.